Hey there guys, this is Sam
And Justin.
at the Survival Review, and today we are finally going to be talking about episode 10 of The Return to Twin Peaks. We're a little behind.
Yeah, just a tad.
We apologize.
Yeah.
He and I have had kind of conflicting schedules lately.
Yeah.
And so we actually haven't seen the episode up until this point. We didn't watch it weeks ago and just never film a review. We just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
To watch it.
Like all the episodes that we're like behind on, we haven't even seen any of those.
Correct. But we're gonna do our best to get some videos out quickly.
Yeah.
So we can catch right back up.
Yes.
And be on time again.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're talking about episode 10. So for the few people that want to watch a 3-week-old review, this is for you.
Oh yeah.
The episode begins with Richard Horne murdering the woman who witnessed him running over a child.
Yeah. You know that sweet girl who we saw at the diner a few episodes back? He's like, oh, she's a nice character.
A nice look. She's dead.
She's dead.
He murdered her.
Yeah. He's outside her trailer park home, and she's just like, hey, I told the police. And he just goes, who else did you tell? It's like, well, police is kind of the big one.
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Is she told the police.
And then she's like, I wrote a note to Sheriff Truman. And so that really throws him off. So he breaks in there, murders her, and then calls one of his friends and says, hey, you have to intercept that note that's been sent to Sheriff Truman.
Mm-hmm. Which we find out in a later scene is the douchebag Chad.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's a reason why they were building him up as a douchebag character early on in the show, because he is.
He's just such a douche.
Yeah, you see him just walk out in the hall of the police station, and Lucy's sitting there, and she's like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, just enjoying the weather.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. And then the mail truck comes in and goes, oh, go get the mail. And Lucy's just like, but they bring it in.
He'll bring it in. I want to experience the lovely day that we're having.
Yes.
He's not lying to you, Lucy.
No, not at all. So he walks out, gets the mail.
Gets the mail, slips a note into his shirt.
Goes inside, has a donut.
Grabs a donut, and Lucy is none the wiser.
No. And we hate Chad even more now.
Yeah. But, kind of back to Richard.
Yeah, there's a lot with him in this episode.
There is, and he just...
He's not a good person.
You already know that he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he just escalates. He continues to escalate. He's raising the bar of being a terrible human being.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how much more he can raise it, but I'm excited to see how he'll try.
Yes. Because we do see, one of the things we didn't mention in our last video is the character of Johnny Horne, who we saw in the last episode just running through his house, and then he smashed his head into a wall.
Yep.
And that was all we saw. Well, this one you see him, he has a helmet on, he's all bruised up, he's tied onto a chair, watching a bear with like a light bulb in its head.
It's got like a dome on its head, and it's saying, hello Johnny, how are you today? It's a bizarre little situation there, and it's at his grandmother's house.
Yes, it's a nice big fancy house.
Fancy place, and she notices something out the window. She runs out to the porch, and Richard Horne is pulling up to the house, and he's running to the door, and she's like, no, leave.
Yeah.
You're not getting any money from me, because that's what he wants, is money.
And he just breaks in, he starts choking her, asking for the combination to their safe. She eventually, gives it to him, so he runs there, takes the safe, takes all the money and all the jewelry from in there, and then leaves.
Yeah, it's an intense scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's physically hurting a pretty old woman.
Yeah. Who's his grandma?
Who's his own grandmother. And you're just like, God, this guy is...
Yeah.
No redeeming factors.
No.
He's just terrible. And I kind of love him for that. He's a pretty great character.
Very entertaining. So after the first scene with them, we cut to Harry Dean Stanton just sitting outside his trailer, just playing the guitar, singing a song. And then you see this glass, or this cup just crash through a window. Yes, and you hear all this commotion come from inside a trailer park. And you cut inside, and it's Shelley's daughter and her boyfriend.
Yep.
And her boyfriend is just screaming at her. She's lying on the couch all scared, and he's just yelling at her about how she needs to work more hours. They have no money. They can't even afford this trailer.
Yeah, and he's clearly on some kind of drugs or something.
Well, we saw him. Anyway.
But just to set the tone of how he's acting in this scene, he's completely just mad. He's got like snot dripping from his face. She is terrified. It's Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
She's just like terrified for her life.
Yeah.
That he's gonna kill her right then and there. And
It's the exact opposite of how we last saw them when they were all happy and lovey and stuff.
yeah, driving off in a convertible.
Yeah.
On a bright sunny day.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of that. Just not a happy scene at all.
No.
So after the bulk of this episode actually takes place in Las Vegas. And there's quite a bit of stuff with Dougie.
Yes.
The last few episodes kind of had just a few little bits of Dougie spread throughout. This is more Dougie focused.
Yep.
And so the first thing we see is he's at the doctor's getting a checkup. And you see him, he takes off his shirt, he's in really good shape. And they're just like, oh, did you lose weight, Dougie? Like, cause
Have you been exercising?
yeah.
And he's just like, exercise.
Yeah, he's oblivious to everything, of course. Every time they're putting the thing on his heart, and he's just touching it like, they're like no, Dougie, no, Dougie. They have the blood pressure thing on his arm, and he just poking it.
Yeah, he's just curious, oblivious to everything.
Yeah.
And throughout this scene, his wife is starting to get, all hot and bothered by Dougie because she's starting to realize what good shape he's in. And,
Yeah.
And so like
at first she's like, oh yeah, he lost some weight. And then she started looking more, she's like, this is a little different.
You're looking good, Dougie.
Yeah.
And he's got like the perfect blood pressure. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
in
like
perfect condition. Perfect specimen.
awfully different than how he was before.
Yes.
And she doesn't seem to pay as much attention to that as she should.
No. So then later that night, they're at the house, and he's just sitting at the table eating a cake, oblivious to everything.
Yeah, and she is like giving him this loving stare, and she's like, "Do you find me attractive? I find you attractive, Dougie." And he's just like,
awkwardly eating the cake.
and she doesn't pay any attention to it. And then we have the most ridiculous sex scene I think I've ever seen. Because Dougie, he just has the most genuine core reactions to things.
Well, at first he has no reaction. You sit there, his arms just flopping.
Yeah.
And at the end, you see him with this big smile on his face.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
It's hilarious.
We were laughing the whole time. And then after that,
Then the next morning, the son's getting the car ready for work, and she's just like, ooh, that was like the best night we've had in a while. And she's kissing him, and he's just like, eh.
He's just like, love you.
Love you. It goes away.
Continues from there.
Yeah. And then we cut to the guys who run the casino, who we saw a few episodes ago, just in really brief scenes, the Jim Belushi character and his brother.
A very ditzy woman.
Yeah, one of the showgirls that work for him.
Is like trying to swat a fly, and in trying to get the fly, she whacks the not John Belushi guy.
Mitchum, one of the brothers,
She whacks him in the face with a remote control, like trying to get the fly, and he's like bleeding.
Yeah,
it's pretty
like
great.
a giant.
And she's devastated. She's like in the room crying for like hours after the fact. She's just like, how can you love me after I've done this to you?
And they're just all trying to calm down, like, it's alright, we're fine, I'm fine.
He's just like, Candy, I'm fine.
Yeah, don't worry. It's all good. And then they see on the news the whole thing about Ike the Spike getting arrested, and the person who stopped him the day before being Dougie Jones.
Dougie Jones. They're like,
that's Mr. Jackpot.
That's our Mr. Jackpot. There's something going on here.
And then it cuts to that guy in the office building in Las Vegas. So I think it was the guy who got the phone call from Doppelcooper.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was him, and who's sitting in the office talking to him is the corrupt guy who works with Dougie, the Tom Sizemore character. And he approaches him, and he tells him that you're going to tell the Mitchum brothers that the reason why they didn't get any of that insurance money after their hotel burned down was because of Dougie Jones.
That way, they'll kill Dougie Jones for him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't succeed, then the Tom Sizemore character has to kill Dougie Jones himself.
So now you're getting a lot more into his character and seeing a lot more stuff. That's what I like about this episode a lot, is that you're just seeing a lot more stuff expanded and everything feels a lot more fleshed out now after this episode. So he cuts to the casino, and you see the Mitchum brothers in the security room. They see Tom Sizemore, and they're like, oh, go get him, bring him up here. Candy, go get him.
And there's a whole weird sequence with Candy, taking too long because she's
first off, she doesn't even, leave. She, slowly takes her time to leave. And
the thing is, she doesn't even respond to them when they're talking to her. And at first I'm like, is she is she just like trying to be, standoffish and
Yeah.
like sassy or whatever? No, I think she's just really stupid.
Probably.
And that's kind of how it goes from there. And she goes out to get him and bring him back in there, and she starts talking about something. You can't really tell. She's waving her arms around. You can't tell because they're watching her through the security cameras, and there's no audio.
But they eventually they get her to bring him up.
Yes.
And he tells him the whole thing about Dougie Jones, and that's all Dougie's fault, and Dougie is an enemy of you guys.
Yes.
And they get together and they go, we probably have to do something about this Doug guy. He made us lose over $2 billion.
Yeah. Even though they don't fully trust this Tom Sizemore character, they're like, this guy's a rat, and I don't like him, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, this makes sense. And
yeah,
don't
Dougie
like this
screws
Dougie
over.
Jones guy.
So something's going on there. It's starting to all kind of connect.
Yes.
Which is really nice. Then you get a little bit of stuff with Cole and Rosenfield.
Yeah.
The first scene, which is this really random scene of just Rosenfield at dinner with this one girl, and they're just like smiling and laughing. It's the happiest you've ever seen Rosenfield.
And then you see Cole and Tammy, and Cole is like, Tammy, come here. And you don't hear anything he says, but they're just like staring at Rosenfield. Just like,
that's so sweet.
That's so sweet. And they're laughing, and everybody's happy.
And that's it.
That's that scene. For
like, what is it? Like, why is Rosenfield with this lady? I don't know.
It was just there to show that sometimes Rosenfield is happy.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see Rosenfield happy every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
I think Cole and Tammy appreciate it.
Exactly. And then there's a scene where Cole is in his room, his like hotel room, and he gets a knock on the door. And this is, most of this episode has been very straightforward. Of course, some of the weird Lynchian stuff where it takes a while for stuff to happen and scenes take their times.
And it's jumping around a lot too.
Yeah, but it's been pretty straightforward. Like nothing too bizarre. But then Cole opens his door, and you just see like a flashback of like Laura Palmer.
You see images of Laura Palmer like terrified, and I forget what scene it's actually from, but it's just her like
all distressed and everything.
In full like desperation.
Yeah.
And then it fades away, and it's just Rosenfield at the door, and he's like, "Hey."
Like, there you go. There's our weird Twin Peaks moment. And he tells him about the text that Diane got. That was another thing that we forgot to mention in the last video was that Diane got a text from Doppelcooper, and basically tells him that something's up.
Need to keep Diane close.
Yeah, that's what Cole says. We have to keep her close, because even he felt that when she hugged him in that scene after they were at the police station, he felt that something was wrong. So keep her close. And then Tammy comes in the door and says, "We got this picture from that couple that got killed in that building in New York back in like the first episode." And she shows him the picture, and it's that glass box that we saw that they were waiting for something to appear in. And you see Doppelcooper in that glass box.
And there's another guy looking in the box that I don't think I recognized. Was that the guy from?
I didn't recognize it, but it was
pretty brief, but there was a dude looking into the box. And
and if that's something that gets revealed in a later episode, don't comment on it.
Yeah, because we haven't seen it yet.
But if it's gotten revealed in the previous episode and we're just missing it, then comment.
Exactly.
Then let us know. But yeah, so they're like, oh, there's something going on there with Doppelcooper and that whole thing in New York, which is something that has kind of been forgotten as the show progressed.
Yeah.
Like we had
Which is crazy because it started off as like, man, this is wild and crazy.
And that was like so important in the first episode. It's kind of just like,
and then there's so much other stuff that happens that you almost forget about these crazy wild things that happen.
Yeah. And then back in Twin Peaks, we have one random scene with Jerry Horn.
Love it.
Again.
It's Jerry Horn in the woods. Where else would he be?
Yeah,
he's got no signal on his phone, and he says, "You can't fool me. I've been here before." And then it leaves the scene.
That's it.
That's it.
The scene.
The scene was quite literally like 15 seconds, and it was wonderful.
Yes. And then you have a scene with Ben Horn on the phone with the Richard Horn's grandma, just talking, and she's going crazy about how he stole like thousands of dollars. So and then she's just like, "You have to give me the money for this." He's like, "I ain't paying you anything.
I'm not giving you any money." She's like, "I'm gonna get my lawyer on the phone right now," and he's just like, "Oh, Jesus."
And he hangs up, and he asks the secretary if they want to go out to eat. The most important thing he asks though is Johnny all right?
Yeah.
That's the most thing he wants to know. He doesn't really ask about her. He doesn't really care about her.
He asks about Johnny. She's like, you seem so worried about me. He's like, I am worried about you. How much money did he take?
Yeah.
That's what he's really concerned about.
So that's that one scene.
Yeah.
But then you get to one scene, which is like a really great one with Dr. Jacoby.
Yes, Dr. Jacoby in his crazy rant mode, whatever broadcasts. I don't know what it is. It's a radio show or something.
I just love how it just sounds like a raving old man. There's no real like composition to what he's saying. He just sounds like a raving old man complaining about anything.
He doesn't seem to have any sort of... There's no rhyme or reason to what he's talking about. He's just getting angry about various things.
How everybody's screwing you over. That's
and how you need to dig yourself out of this shit.
Yeah.
And it's intercutting between him and Nadine, who is, as she was in a previous episode, listening really intently.
Oh yeah, she loves this.
She loves him. And she had her first line because she finally says, "He is so beautiful," or something like that. And
then the best part is...
My favorite thing in the whole episode is that you actually see that she has now, after all these years, is running a successful drape runner business. It's like run silent, run drapes.
Yeah.
And the window is drapes running, and you see a gold shovel on the inside.
It's a shovel inside.
Like, that's the most wonderful thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I loved it. That was so great.
Of course she succeeded. Of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she?
It's great. Finally some more Nadine screen time. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, not as a super cheerleader something.
Yeah, just regular Nadine.
Regular Nadine. I love it.
Another scene that actually surprised me was we have another scene with the log lady.
Mm-hmm. I was really happy to see her again.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she just like filmed a little bit for the first episode or if she was going to appear more as the show went on.
Yeah.
So that's why it surprised me a little bit because I wasn't sure like if she was going to be in it more, and she was.
Yes.
It's her having another phone conversation with Hawk. She's just saying a bunch of stuff. It's a long scene of her having this like long monologue saying that like the Truman brothers are true men.
Yeah. The most important thing she says is that Laura is like the key or something, and so it's kind of bringing Laura back into things.
Oh yeah.
Because that's, I mean, if we go back to Twin Peaks, the very beginning, that's what it's all about.
It with Laura.
It all connects to Laura.
And also you have that scene with Laura, and we saw the footage of her earlier in the episode, so it's like, it's starting to tie back to her. She's coming back into play.
This episode is starting to bring old things back in after all these new things have been introduced, which is nice.
It brings old things back in, but it actually develops the new things very well. It develops a lot of the new things that we only saw briefly in previous episodes, and that's what I liked about it. Like, this episode was mostly just a plot episode, and again, it wasn't even really any real surreal or weird stuff in it. It was very straightforward, but what I liked is that it brought a lot more things into light. We got more of Richard Horn, who we just saw briefly, and like the Mitchum brothers, who we also saw for like 2 scenes in the past like 10 episodes. So it brought a lot of more things into light, and a lot of things just feel more clear and more fleshed out.
Yes.
Because it focused on the stuff that wasn't fleshed out compared to like all the other episodes. So that's the episode. A really solid one. Not like one of the more memorable ones, but a good one to keep the plot moving forward.
Yeah. Ends off on a nice little song in the bar as usual.
Yeah.
And we probably missed some stuff.
As usual. We say this in every episode, but just make sure. We probably missed something.
We gotta cover our tracks
exactly
because someone's gonna let us know, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We just watched the episode 10 minutes ago, and I'm positive we forgot something.
Oh yeah.
But you let us know, and we always appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have the next episode after this one out a whole lot quicker because we're gonna go and watch it and film it right now.
Yes.
So until then, we will see you guys later.